I'm Laura Mitchell, and I've been involved in the industry for 15 years, 15 incredibly exciting years where every year we wondered if this might be the year where digital health and remote patient monitoring and socialization technology sort of takes off. And every year we sort of got closer. And then COVID hit, and all of a sudden we kind of got to the point where technology became a fundamental necessity. So I am the CEO of Grand Care Systems, and I am also am principal of LMC, which is a strategic guerrilla marketing firm that helps aging and healthcare technology providers market and strategically position their product. So next slide, a little bit about Grand Care, innovating before it was cool. Unfortunately, that is very true. It was very uncool at the time. It was in 2005, and it was a pretty lonely atmosphere. Grand Care started out of a necessity, as many people say. They say necessity, the mother of invention, but perhaps what they meant to say was necessity, the mother of invention, and crisis, the father of adoption. So that's sort of where we're at here. We started it. It was founded by a boomer, Charlie Hillman, MIT guy, engineer, and he sort of developed the technology because we had a need for it. He was taking care of a great grandmother who lived on his property, and her house almost burned down, even though she lived next door to him, because he wasn't going into her home. And he thought there must be a way that we can monitor not only an individual, but the environment that surrounds them. So Grand Care it starts with a touchscreen as the centerpiece, and it is not a product one person uses, which was what makes this entire industry so fragmented and complicated, because you have to design for all and not just one. You have to design for the resident themselves. You have to design for the caregivers. You have to design for the staff in the senior housing. You have to design for the potentially family members, whether they're the kids or the grandchildren. So it is really a design for all product. We have a wide range of generations building our software. So we are founded by 2 boomers and 2 Xers, but you might almost call us Xennials. And we are designing it to ensure that it fits every demographic. So the big touchscreen at point of care in the senior's residence, whether it's long-term care or in the private home, that resides with them at point of care, and it provides a source of information, cognitive assist, reminders, entertainment, video chat, a connection to family, and a source of information of what's going on in the outside world. It also connects with a variety of wireless Bluetooth sensors, whether they're motions, whether they're telehealth devices that can determine if they have a fever or if their pulse ox is low, or just to determine whether they're moving around. The system is designed so that the family members can access it from various points, internet-based points. And sort of what differentiates Grand Care is it's a holistic platform that caters to the physical, the mental, and the social aspect. Next slide. So let's talk about where we were pre-COVID. So pre-COVID was labor intensive, right? This is a change that has to happen anyways. We can't afford to or physically sustain this one-on-one caregiving and brick and mortar model. Now, Darwin has said that it's not the strongest or the smartest that survive, right? It's the ones who can adapt. And that's where we are today. Ignorance obviously is not a good strategy for our healthcare. And technology has to be the way of the future. Technology has to be an enabling tool. Technology will never replace the human touch. Technology will supplement and empower and engage the human touch and make life better. Bob Kramer from Nexus Insights recently was talking about the fact that senior housing communities must adapt. And if they do not adapt and engage with these technology, they will not be part of the future of aging services. Going to the doctor, another thing that's interesting about our healthcare and knowing information about our own health is going to the doctor for a reading almost every 6 months is almost meaningless. right? It's not only is it the white coat effect, there are other factors that can skew vital readings. It's worthless for predictive and proactive care. We need trending reports that can tell us how this person is doing and what can be done. Next slide. So now we've got COVID that's come, right? And I'm sorry, I just had to be a little nerdy there with an Aladdin reference. But it's a whole new world. It's a different normal today. And now we have an incentive to sustain our health and well-being. There's a fear of moving into senior housing and going into the hospital for any reason. It's an added incentive to engage and influence, like we say at Grand Care. We wanted to design a technology that not only would help monitor these folks, but help them to be influenced and engaged in their own health and well-being. It makes in-person interactions far more efficient and effective if the person is engaged and reporting on their constant well-being. Virtual visits and communications, resident to resident conversations, all empowered with technology. Now, CMS has also offered a great opportunity with relaxed telehealth restrictions, enabling easier reimbursement models for remote patient monitoring, telemedicine, and telehealth. It's a safer and technology enables a safer and supported environment at home when it's difficult to have a physical caregiver. Whether it's difficult or impossible, it allows caregivers an added opportunity to be able to know what's going on. Ordering and requesting concierge services from the room is an added benefit of this sort of on-demand caregiving services. So all the care is being brought to me versus me having to go out to get the care. Next slide. So here's our new normal, right? That we're sort of living life the way Marty McFly did, right? We're living the way our grandparents and our parents and our grandparents did. We're hunkering down at home, ongoing medical monitoring at home. In the 1950s, you know, before World War II, we had multi-generational living. We all stayed close to family. We take care of each other. 1950s, boomers are born, families disperse with bigger business and greater transportation infrastructure. And, you know, the retirement communities are born. You know, they sort of move away, families left behind. Now we've got to hire caregivers. Skip to 2020 and COVID strikes. Transportation is restricted. Now there's restriction for in-person visits. And now we've got to find a way to allow folks to have the hospital and healthcare services delivered to them virtually at home. Next slide. So I believe Whitney was really talking about this, and I believe the seniors are our future. And the good news about boomers is that they're going to redefine the way that we age. And it's a very exciting time because for the Gen Xers, we're going to see a new way that we age. It's going to be completely resident-centered with reminders, easy access to our own chronic conditions. We will be in the driver's seat of our own aging. Nobody's going to age for us. We are going to age for ourselves. And as my kids love to say, nobody will be joysticking us. We will be joysticking ourselves and aging ourselves. So it'll be a total improvement in our overall lifestyle.